A hallway of cold air. At the very end, a door marked with an eye awaits for someone. A boy wakes up in the wilderness. Mano is his name. Walking through the heavy atmosphere, Mano slowly moves forward. But the bag of dead bodies and the bear traps indicated that this forest was not ordinary. After running into different glitching remains, he finds a shack in front of him. He carefully enters through an open window to only find the entire house slowly decaying. Then, he hears a sound of music. He follows the sound and finds a girl playing with the music box. Our protagonist is determined to free her. He finds an axe from the other side and smashes the door in front of him. The girl ran away. Mano doesn't know how long she has been locked in there. But seeing that she would need help, he pursues her. He runs past the dining area with grotesque dolls and approaches the girl trying to escape. So Mano finds himself a partner in this little nightmare. By working together, the protagonists are now able to get through this giant cabin. Then, they hear a ripping sound through the wall. Avoiding the man skinning his prey, they take careful steps, and together they push through a small door. Wielding a shotgun, the hunter starts hunting as if he saw a demon. Mano and the girl run for their lives, never looking back, avoiding the light of the hunter's lantern. The two make a narrow escape from the hunter, calling out upon each other. Mano and the girl begin establishing a sense of trust. Despite the hunter's pursuit, together, they press on through the forest. The two face a moment of crisis. Mano finds a gun hanging on the wall. Quickly, he reaches for the gun. After defeating the hunter, through the back of the shack, Mano and the girl head to the river. The two ride on a severed door and through the misty river, they sail to an unsure destination. With the only notable sight, floating TVs in this voyage. A pale city just as twisted as the forest. They come ashore, encountering another remain in the sands. They enter the city. It seems deserted, and the inside of the city was just the same. They could only find TV, and more TVs. A television starts flickering to life. Motto painfully approaches the TV, places his hand, and starts tuning in into the transmission. This corridor is not unfamiliar. Mano tries to reach the door, but he is slowed down. Before he reaches the door, he is immediately pulled back from it. After the mysterious event, the two roamed the city. They were led into a deserted, creepy school. A dark corridor and a room of unknown purpose. And a shadow of unknown threat. The school was full of dangers. As they passed through the school's corridor and an eerie glance, Mono and the girl hurry to escape this menacing school. The girl was dragged away in an instant. Mono quickly goes after them, but the bullies have already escaped with a rope ladder. He needs to find a key to use the elevator, so he enters the classroom in session. Only the sounds of chalk echo in this classroom. He sneaks through and reaches for the key on the top of the bookshelf. After witnessing the unspeakable grotesque, Mono hurries with the key in his possession and proceeds in search of the girl. However, the teacher was not the only threat in this school. A leashed student, endlessly scrolling pictures of eyes. Chess piece made out of a corpse, and another gruesome picture of an eye. Everything was a literal nightmare. The teacher realizes Mono's presence, and with her extending snake-like neck, she roams to find the child. But despite the crisis, Mono proceeds, determined to save the girl. And after running into another remain, he smashes the bullies with porcelain bodies and picks up one of the bullies' heads. He wears it and enters the scene of madness. With the teacher gone, the bullies are wreaking havoc, destroying the cafeteria. Mono carefully moves through. After getting through the area, once more he finds another hammer, waiting for a worthy wielder. Without mercy, Mono punishes the bullies. At last, he finds the girl dangling upside down. And with the grand finale, Mono rescues the girl. So, they cooperate once more. But before Mono can once more wield the hammer, the girl lunges on the bully first. Mono finally finds a way to escape and quietly crosses over the teacher's head, playing the piano. So Mono and the girl escape. They carefully cross the bridge over a giant ravine. It started pouring. That was fine for Mono and the mysterious glitching remain. But the girl suffers from the weather. Fortunately, not so long after, they find a yellow raincoat in the ruins of the city. The girl in a yellow raincoat. 6. The two have traveled for a while, yet they found no signs of life. So without any interference, they enter a gray hospital through an open window. However, this place was also abandoned and ruined. With no power, only darkness shrouds them. Fortunately, they find a flashlight. Mono, holding 6's hand tight, illuminates the dark halls. But once more, a familiar transmission slowly begins luring Mono in. Mono makes another attempt to reach the door. This time, he thinks he could get closer. But is once again pulled away. They continue to find their way out of the hospital. After a brief commemorative X-ray shoot, they proceed to retrieve a key by burning a stuffed animal along with the toy Six was fond of. Mono continues cooperating with Six, but the dead ends of the hospital makes the two briefly part ways. And it is this moment, to the solo boy, the darkness begins making its move. The mannequins begin chasing Mono in the dark. He makes a close escape from their hands, but the tiny flashlight was not enough to cast out the vast darkness. Yet, our protagonist survives and retrieves the fuse to activate the elevator. He successfully reunites with Six. But the mannequins were only the beginning. They find a room with grotesque masks in the depths of this hospital. They encounter the doctor. The bloated doctor swiftly crawls off the ceiling, taking care of the patients. Staying out of his sight is tough. Mono decides to make a distraction. He deactivates one of the patient's life support. They attempt to escape while the doctor is busy, but this only triggers another chase for Mono. The doctor is surprisingly agile. One wrong turn would mean being a new patient. Then, Mono comes up with an idea. He quickly jumps into the furnace. While the doctor struggles, he exits the furnace. With the doctor gone, Mono and Six leave the hospital. It was still raining outside. Ignoring the spooky feeling, the two continue onward. They witness many scenes of absurdness, and watching over the town, a dark skyscraper stood in the center of the city, the culprit behind making the city so pale. The Black Tower. The mysterious signal from the tower was transmitted through TVs, and people neither slept or ate, and only watched television until they turned into pale corpses. And now, the illumination seemed like the tower was calling them. Our protagonist takes determined steps. But this twisted city shows no mercy for the two of them. Motto saves Six once again, but with no moments of reprieve. They encounter another active TV. Once again, Motto is pulled into the corridor. This time, he reaches the door. He opens the door wide open. A thin man of unknown identity. As if he was still inside the TV, the man transmits signals from his body. Motto and Six hurry their steps and run and run. Yet they could not lose the thin man. Six was kidnapped in a flash. Motto retraces his steps, only to find a single TV. The television teleports Motto to another place. TV. The connections with the TVs. Is this the power the boy possesses? Motto travels through the TVs. Looking for Six, he traverses through the town. The familiar remains. Motto desperately hopes that this one is the last one. As he gets closer to the tower, he finds more people addicted to TVs. And sees them fall off buildings one by one. Motto could not understand them, but nothing interfered with his determined steps. Except for one television. The thin man chases Motto again. Motto smashes his way open and tries to shake the thin man off. But the man seemed relentless. Wherever he went, it seems like the man knew. The thin man never stopped chasing the boy. passing through a gray scene of familiar glitches. The boy climbs up the ladder. With unknown powers, Bono fights the man. This tug of war went on and on continuously. But the conclusion was already destined. The gates of Black Tower swung open, and slowly, Bono enters the gates. Passing a familiar sight, Bono hears a familiar tune. He comes across countless doors, but Bono relied on the sound of music to find his way. Transfigured, Styx holds the music box dear. So, as he has done all this time, Bono calls out to her once more. A familiar sound draws Styx closer. The boy then grabs a hammer and drags it closer to the music box. The girl goes berserk. Styx begins running after Bono. The whole building shakes and breaks. Bono felt like only God could save his life. He survives once more. He sees Styx protecting the music box with the distorted law of physics, and his voice that now agonized the girl. He smashed the box multiple times. The piles of flesh begin closing in, while 6 tries to protect the music box. The flesh walls swell up and begins chasing the 2. The eye. Mono and 6. Like the times they had together. They run and run. To the only exit that will take them to safety. A land of flesh. No matter where he goes, the sea of flesh shows no end. Wandering through the fleshy remains, he walks past the eyes, gazing at him, and decides to stand on a solitary chair.